Super excited to have Adam D'Sylva here today. Adam, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, bro.
That's not a very good introduction.
It's not. Okay, what would you like me to tell people about you? Okay, well, this is Adam D'Sylva, the chef, co-owner at Coda and Tonka restaurant. I'm so excited to have him here. Coda. Mate, it's so good to have you here today. Yeah. I know you're a very busy man. You have a lot on. So
always got time for you, Sam.
Time for me, huh? So how did we meet? I don't even remember how we met because we met what?
I reckon
3-4 years ago.
I reckon no, we met at Coda.
At Coda
when you came in.
Is that how we met? We just say hello, how are you?
Say hello, and then I think I came and started chatting to you at the bar. I think gave you some food, and you were really like, you know, just kind of hit it off from then. It was like love at first sight.
Love at first sight. There you go. It's been what, 3-4 years?
I know.
Yeah. It's been exciting times. It's been great knowing you. So, you know, what I want to know is, I want to know your story. Okay? So, were you born here?
I was born here.
So, born here.
But first generation. So, my dad and my mum migrated to Australia. My dad's Anglo-Indian, my mother's Italian.
Okay.
So, they both came off the
Great
boat.
combination.
They both came off the boat, like literally.
Yeah,
off the boat, basically when they used to sail into Australia.
Yeah.
So very rich cultural heritage. You know, grew up with a bowl of pasta and a curry on the table and rice. So that was just the norm, you know. Normal wog boy, they would say.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, my dad was a butcher. My mum would work in the butcher shop. So surrounded by food the whole time. And it was normal. Like, you know, I thought that, you know, this is how people grew up in Australia. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, because then I'd go to other households and they'd be having like, you know, sausage and eggs for dinner. I'm like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
You know, but so it was very... it was something I just thought was normal, but I didn't realise how a blessing or how a special thing it is to be brought up in a multicultural household like we are, you know, like we are in Australia. So you know, and people go, you know, people say you're Australian. Of course I'm Australian because define Australian.
Yeah. Yeah, so true.
You know, like it's a
typical
Australian. You know, we're only 200 years old, so that's why, like, you know, so and that has been a massive influence, or if not. Being one of the biggest influences of my cooking is growing up being exposed to.
All started from your childhood and what you were exposed as a child.
Yep,
and
exactly.
see your mum and dad do their thing, and then
But just growing up with that, being exposed to it, so, you know, on the dad's side, the big Indian feast, and on the mum's side, the big Italian feast that go, you know, and they come together. Yeah. So it was like, you know, normal to have lasagna and curry together. But like, I think it's just, you know, also formed the way my taste buds have, you know, how my style of cooking, the food I like to cook. Because I still love Italian. Italian's my favourite. Yeah. People always ask me, what's your favourite food? And I go, every day changes. Yeah. Like today I feel like Japanese. Yeah. One day tomorrow I feel like Chinese. The next day I feel like Italian. Yeah. But I always go back. True. But you know, that's why I think it's got to do with my attention span. But also, but I love it. I love. This is the longest conversation I think we've ever had. With me saying something. Normally you just butt in.
I can't help myself. I've been even told while doing the podcast, let the guests talk.
So.
Can't help himself.
Well, at least I'm not talking about cars. Yeah. Anyway, but we'll get to that anyway. So it's and I think that's such a beautiful thing about our country. You sound like I'm doing a commercial for Tourism Australia, but it's true, and we do it so well. And I think we do food in Australia better than every cuisine out there because of the produce that we have, the accessibility.
We're very blessed.
You know, but then again, you can't replace eating just one like a beautiful tomato in Italy because you got the taste different because the soil is different, the water's different, the atmosphere is different. Yeah. So you know you transported to a certain feeling. Yeah. And you know sense of smell, sight because you know. Yeah. You eat with You eat with everything, with all your senses. Yeah. You know, if you don't like something, block your nose. Yeah, that's true. And it doesn't taste like anything. Yeah. You know, tasteless. So, actually, funny conversation. I had a conversation with I played golf with one of the guys on Celebrity to get me out of here. And I said to him, mate, why don't you just block your nose when you have to eat eat
all that stuff?
He goes, you can't.
You're not allowed to.
It's not allowed to. It's cheating.
Because you actually can't taste it.
And I can tell one guy used hand sanitizer, put it in his nose to help not smell the food.
No way.
But I can't tell you who it was.
No, we can't.
But he didn't win the show. But go show you a chef one. Anyway, there you go. I digress from that.
So tell me. So you grew up in that household. You went to high school. You finished high school.
I did finish high school.
Okay, so you finished high school, and then what did you do? And then you finished high school, and then where'd you go?
I finished high school, but I didn't do well. I pretty much...
Doesn't matter.
I technically failed.
Yeah, it is what it is, yeah.
When you get 25 out of 100, it's like... But
Anyways.
went to a good school that, you know, obviously allowed me to finish.
Yeah.
And then I started making pizzas. So I used to be... So first, even...
So you finished school? Yeah, so you finished school.
Rewind. I used to actually... work in my dad's butcher shop and wash dishes.
I never
since
knew that.
Since I was high enough to stand on tubs, I was washing dishes because I was there every day after school.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Then I started being a kitchen hand when I was in year 11, so like 16, 17. So that's when that was my first kind of job working outside the family.
Where was the kitchen hand? Where was it?
Fiorelli's in Camberwell.
Fiorelli, is that place still around?
It's still around.
It's still around.
It's still around.
Have you been back there?
No, I haven't.
We gotta go there. We gotta go
there. The manager always comes to Coda actually. So I said to him,
way.
he came in last week. And I said, "Oh, how's it going?" He said, "Mate, it's still the same menu." And that's where. How's this? One of the first things when I started off as a kitchen hand, there was two sections. Because it was such a busy restaurant, there was two sections of kitchen hands. One that washed all the plates and cutlery, and there was one kitchen hand that washed all the pans that was getting because there was lots of pastas.
Yeah.
And that's where I realised that I was actually born in a unique. Italian Indian, because they had one dish on the menu, and I still remember it, and hopefully it's still on the menu. It was a curried fettuccine.
Oh wow!
So it was fettuccine with a curry sauce. So it was cream and curry powder.
Which is not normal, right?
And I used to taste it because I was so curious and inquisitive that every pan that the chef used to throw at me after to wash, literally throw.
You used to taste it?
I used to taste all the sauces.
No way.
Right? And I tasted this curry. I'm like. What the hell is this? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And I remember going home going, Mum, guess what I just tasted?
Yeah.
A curried pasta. It's like getting so it spins me out. Anyway, I know it's such a small thing, but it's
no. It's
these things.
But these little things make up who you are.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
These are the little things, you know. Yeah.
And from then. And that's when I started cooking. I used to make pizzas 3 nights a week in Templestowe at a pizza shop.
Yep. So you went
during year 12.
Yep.
Because my mum realised that I wasn't very academic, and she's like, go make your own money. Yep. So I used to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights during year 12. I used to earn $9 an hour. Used to make $45 a week.
Yeah.
Used to go to school on Monday, which was a very elite. Went to Xavier College, so I went to school.
I
was going on Monday, and I used to fall asleep.
Very good school. Yeah.
In class. And funny thing is, I guess moment now is that I go back and talk to do stuff at Xavier College. You
give back.
Anyway, well, they're giving back to me. They're obviously giving back to me in that sense also. But so then from there, I started my apprenticeship at the Hilton on the Park, starting in a hotel.
No way.
I did that for 3 years, and that was back then. It was really hard to get an apprenticeship. I had to do like a whole cooking test and all that, which I was fortunate to actually, out of the 10 apprentices that applied, I got it.
Yeah.
And then from there, talking about life moments or little things.
Yeah.
I won Apprentice of the Year, even though I used to fall asleep in class and do all that kind of stuff. I still won Box Hill TAFE, won Apprentice of the Year after 3 years. I then wanted to go work for the exec chef. I had 2 amazing great exec chefs who I still were mentors back then. But the second executive chef out at the Hilton on the Park, and I know this is a pivotal moment, but it was actually I still talk about it because he left the Hilton on the Park to be the executive chef of the Radisson Hotel back then.
Yeah.
I wanted to go work for the executive sous chef at Sheridan Towers, which is now the Langham.
The Langham, yeah.
The executive chef that I didn't want to go work for, gave me a bad reference. Said I was pretty much totally unemployable after I just won, Apprentice of the Year or the competition. Yeah. And I'm like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise because then that put me off.
Yeah.
From then I went to restaurants. So my first job outside the Hilton was always a Cosy on Toorak Road, which is still around. Wow. It's just had changed owners a couple of times, but then got me into restaurants. And then from restaurants, pretty much I haven't looked back because I found it more personal. But I actually loved hotels, but it was more like hotels are like schools. Yeah. The general manager is the principal. Yeah. Everyone else is like everyone else is like so coming. I fitted well into the hotel scene because I came from a school that was very structured.
It was a good school, yeah.
So it was like I felt at home, the structure of it,
yeah.
And the politics of it. So then it's so it was actually quite interesting. So it's a blessing in disguise that otherwise I would have just ended up in a hotel.
Yeah, and who knows where you would have gone.
Well, I could have ended up probably just being ended up being an exec chef in a hotel because I would have worked my way up.
Yeah, 100%.
But then what was another pivotal moment was after that. So between the hotel, so after went to the restaurant at Cosy, my uncle, my Zio, hooked me up a job in Italy. So he's the one responsible for me to go work in Italy. I worked in Umbria first.
You worked in Italy? No way.
Umbria first.
I didn't even know that.
And then I lived there for a year, and then it was a great winery hotel in Torgiano in Umbria. After that, for a couple of months, I wasn't really going anywhere with it. So I had a mate who I worked at Cozzi in Toorak Road with, a couple of Italian guys. Yeah. They were in the northeast, just out of Ancona, in a restaurant there. Rang them up and said, mate, can I come up and cook with you guys? Yeah. So it was a seafood restaurant right on the beach on the Adriatic. Worked there, and that was an amazing experience.
It would have been.
Because what that taught me is English. Italian wasn't my first language. Yeah. So it taught me to be humble and taught me to give anyone a go. And also cooking is an international language.
Sure.
You speak with anyone. You can speak with anyone with it. So I didn't understand. Like I grew up with the dialect of Abruzzo with my mummies, but I didn't really. When I spoke Italian to them, it was different.
We understand it. Yeah, different dialect.
Different dialect.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing experience. And then from there, I came back and started working for Jeff Lindsay at Pearl. Because I was either work with Jeff Lindsay or another chef, very well-known Middle Eastern chef called Greg Malouf.
Okay, yeah.
Jeff offered a better hour. I took 3 steps back. So he offered an hourly rate. It was enrichment, and it was also the food. It came down to money also.
Yeah.
I was going to work in the city.
Yeah.
Going to cost me more money. Yeah, then also it was the food that I wanted to do. I wanted to do Asian. Yeah. And that was my first foray or first taste into Asian food, doing modern at a high level. Yeah. Doing 2 hats. And then from then, there was just like, the rest is history in the sense that, from there, I did, one Young Chef of the Year for the Good Food Guide back in 2007.
How did that feel when you won?
Well, it was great. Well, I was the oldest young chef going round. Because I just made the cutoff date of being 30 years. So that was a turning point. But also before that, I'd won Young Chef of the Year for Appetite for Excellence, which was Lexus Young Chef of the Year back then for 2005 and 2006. But then also, what happened in 2005 is that I was headhunted by Marty Boats, who owned Long Grain. So I was the first chef to open up Long Grain in Melbourne. So I also went to Sydney and worked in Sydney for 6 months, learning the food. Yeah. Came and opened up Long Grain, did that for about a year. And then went back to Pearl. Jeff rang me after that and goes, because he gave me his blessing to first leave, and he gave me his blessing and said, "Hey mate, I need you to come back, come back to Pearl."
Come back.
So I did that for 2 years, and I was just pretty much treading water. Yeah. Because I was always a chef's ambition, or anyone in hospitality, but it's not always the best result. Yeah. Is to own their own restaurant. Yeah. Own their own cafe or whatever. But not always a be all and end all. Yeah. Because you can make more money working for other people. Yeah. With less risk. Yeah. But you got to take the risk. There's risk and reward. Yeah. As you know, in your anything in business. Yeah. Yeah. So I took the risk. Got put together with my partners, and then Coda was born. And the way Coda was born, or the style of Coda, or the concept with Coda, was pretty much taking the concept of Movida, because Movida was the only one doing tapas. And my mate Paul Omnick, who had what's it called in St Kilda? The name escapes me. I was just talking to him before. Come. But he was doing tapas in St Kilda as well. Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to do Asian tapas. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But do a tier down from what Pearl was, and that's how Coda was born, and that's why it's still there today, 11 years later.
I love
doing that tapas thing. Yeah. And that's how Coda was born, and then we joked about doing an Indian restaurant, being Indian heritage. Yeah. And that happened, and 7 years later, that's how Tonka was born. Just by joking, saying do a modern Indian or Indian inspired restaurant. But then what happened? But the concept behind Tonka is that it's a ghee-free kitchen.
Okay, yeah.
So ghee's used a lot in Indian cooking or Australian cooking, where it's just laden. The reason why the curry's just so full and rich and heavy is because they're full of ghee. So you you buy these little pots of curry when you go down anywhere, and you feel like you've eaten a brick. Yeah, that's right. So my thing was that my mum used to use Italian technique cooking Indian food. So there was never ghee. She always used olive oil. Yeah. So that was like they kept the freshness of it, and that's why when you go to Tonga, it's always light and fresh. Yeah. And people Yeah. So that's one of the turning points, or one of the small things. Yeah. That that I took from my childhood. Yeah. Is that no ghee, and because you had to make, and it was a very hard sell when we opened Tonka 7 years ago, because a lot of wives ring up and make a booking, and then they go, "Oh, Indian. I don't like Indian because the husbands like Indian. They're cheap and cheerful down the road." Yeah. And they go, "No, that's too rich. It's heavy. It's fat. I don't want to.
At night.
I'd rather eat dessert than eat a whole. And then that's how the rest is history in that perspective as well. But using Italian or French techniques with Indian, I say Indian inspired because using Indian flavors. Yeah. Because also we don't get the produce in India that we get in Australia.
Yeah.
So like, the beautiful ocean trouts, the lamb, the beef, even though that's gets against Indian culture. And the chickens and stuff like that. So, even when I've gone to cook in India, it's been a struggle because I go, we love Tonka food. And I say, I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. But you don't have the produce. So when I go to cook in India, the government, Australian tourism go, okay, you can't cook pork with pork. Yeah. And you can't cook with beef. I say, oh, cool. Tell me what you're going to cook. Give me what I'm going to cook with. They go, no worries. Well, you've got like a million lamb cutlets because it all comes from Australia. Yeah. And you've got some local chicken. Yeah. And you've got some local fish. Yeah. That's it. And you have to do 2 different menus. One that's completely vegan. Yeah. And one that's no pork, no this and that. And it's like, and and especially when you're in Delhi. Yeah. The thing is,
I've never been.
They say because they go, I remember a story as well. It was an experience. I was in Delhi at the Australian High Commission because I cooked there a couple of times. Yeah. And the person that was taking me, guiding me, she goes, in Delhi, don't eat seafood. Yeah. I said, why? Because we're around 300 k's away from the sea, so seafood's not prevalent in Delhi. Okay. So I rock up to the Australian High Commissioner's house to have lunch with him. Yeah. Guess what I get fed? Prawns. And I'm like,
what the hell?
Prawns with mango and avocado salad. I'm like, and I try to be polite, and I'm like, and as soon as like something in my head, I can't eat it. It was like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'm like, really? Do I have to really eat these prawns?
I like that. It's in the back of your mind.
Back of my mind, And there's certain things I struggle with textures. Like I still have a phobia of mayonnaise.
No way.
I hate mayonnaise.
You never use mayonnaise?
I hate mayonnaise. I just dislike it. I just don't like the texture of it. And if I am going to eat it, I'd like to see it being made fresh. Done, and that's it.
Yeah. It's interesting,
and a blue cheese. Blue cheese, I can't do blue cheese. I can't do blue cheese because it's too aromatic. That's a certain smell. But it's funny. I didn't start eating avocados till I was like 20.
No way.
But it's like I don't do bechamel. Lasagna with bechamel in it. I can't eat it because I was brought up with the lasagna, which had my Z lasagna was just tomato based.
Tomato based,
no bechamel. And I didn't know bechamel until later. I was like, but it's normally northerners because they've got cream and the butter. Yeah. Is why they have more cream based sauce or dairy based sauces.
Man, I love Coda. I love the food.
I know you do because I always hear you. You're sometimes more than me. He said you pay to be there.
That's what I love it because you know what I love? Like for me, food's very important, right? I don't understand the word foodie, but like for me, like I love to go out.
You're a discerning diner. You're a foodie.
Yeah, is that what foodie is?
Well, foodie. I think it's a bit generic now these days. And you're not a foodie because
I like to go. I like to see my friends. I like to eat. For me, it's about the experience, right? Yeah. So why I come to Coda and Tonka and other restaurants I go to is because when I walk in, I feel at home. While walking, I hug all the staff. Yeah.
They're forced to hug you back.
I didn't know that. Okay, I remember that next time. But this guy. But I love it. Like it's just such a beautiful place, alright? Both restaurants. I feel at home.
That is one thing, as I say, people like, about restaurants, success of restaurants, all that concepts, food, service, wine. There's one thing that you can't buy when you create a restaurant, and it's proven with all the chefs, like whether it's a Neil Perry or whatever. Yeah. You can't buy the X factor. You can have the biggest bank account. Yeah. You can do the best fit out. You can have the most expensive Ferrari looking desk. Yeah. Maybe going around. Yeah. Hypothetically. But you can have the best food, but if the fit out's not right, but then the fit out, but there's this X factor. You can't buy it. As you said, you feel at home. How do you buy that? I never knew that. You can't buy it.
Yeah, you can't buy it, man. And that's why I go to certain places. That's why I come to Coda. That's why I go to Tonka. Not because you're my friend or that, because I feel at home, man. No. I feel comfortable. I feel like in my element. I feel like everything I want is there. It's available.
And you can say it's like I say, Aussies say it's the vibe, but it's a vibe. It's the vibe, the feeling. 100%. And if because you know what, if the food was hard, wasn't as good as wasn't as good at Coda, you'd probably still go.
100%.
Let's see.
100%.
Why do people go to Victoria Street and go to those cheap and cheerful Chinese restaurants, which I go to Pacific House all the time. Yeah. But the lights are bright. The service is rude. Whatever, abrupt. Yeah, but it's good food, but it's cheap. People go.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think it's very important. I think it's very important. And for me, there's 4 or 5 restaurants like that. That sometimes people say, "Oh, you're boring. Why do you keep going to the same places for? Why don't you explore?"
Well, I'm saying, people ask me all the time. They go, "What are your favourite restaurants?" And I go, Flower Drum, Rock Pool, Flower Drum, Rock Pool, or whatever. But the place, but also now I go to a certain place called Golden Dragon Palace for dumplings. I go to Il Pizziolo in Thornbury. I live for pizza because also got kids, young kids. I got 3 young kids. If I'm in the restaurant myself, I just want to go home. I prefer to cook at home. And just spend time at home. Because you know, mate, but now what I'm loving is I'm enjoying a dining experience with like my eldest daughter who's 10. She's great to go out with. I even got her into the kitchen just last week during school holiday. She came and did a couple of shifts to teach her the value of the dollar because she's like, "Dad, I want an iPhone watch." 100%. I said, "Great. Come and work." She loves pastry. She loves desserts. She said, "You came and did the pastry section." I love that. And I paid her afterwards. And people were like, "What do you pay her?" I said, "I paid her $50." They go, "What do you mean? That's not enough." I said, "What's $10 an hour?" So I said, $10 an hour. I said, "I was getting $10 an hour, but that's for a 10-year-old."
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Well, but even $50 is still a lot of money.
100%, man.
So now she's learning the value of the dollar, and I'm like going, "Well, if you want to buy something, you earn it, and then the other day."
You respect your money, man. And you know, when I turned 18, I want a Ferrari. I said, "Okay, you know."
Yeah, so my son said, "Who's been in your cars?"
My fault, yeah.
Well, you said, I think you said you want to leave one in your will for it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll do that. It's on camera. But you know, she goes to me on the phone. I said, "You know what?" I said, "You can come to the office every week. You can clean the office, right? Every Saturday, I will pay you, right? When you turn 18, if you have enough money to buy a Ferrari, you can buy a Ferrari. If you have enough money to buy whatever you want to do, you want to do. And maybe when you turn 18, I'll match half of it. Exactly, yeah. You say, I'll match whatever you made. But I'm sure when you turn 18, you wouldn't want a Ferrari. You want to invest in something different, yeah? Something more smart than a Ferrari, yeah? Because at 18, I was driving a $3,000 Sigma station wagon, which I used to hire 3 streets.
My first car was a Mazda 323. Well, I remember that. It was 1 year younger than... Did it have one of those things that you pull out? It was 1 year younger than me. There you go. It faded from red to orange.
There you go, right? So it's about teaching your kids the value of money, right? And I get confused a little bit because, you know, because I didn't have a childhood growing up and all that, so I want to spoil the kids, right? Because I want to live my childhood through them.
You always give your kids more than what you did.
Yeah, because I want to live that childhood through them, right? And my wife, she's the smart one. She's the, you know, the one that's actually like, you know, switched on more. She's like,
keeps you around.
Yeah, keeps you around. She's like, no. She goes, no. If they want it, they got to wait for it, right? They got to earn it. And, you know, because otherwise, especially in this day of Instagram and social media, man, you get so consumed by all this nonsense that's out there. And people think that's what it's all about. And people think that that's what makes you who you are and that's your self-worth. But all those things are just materialistic stuff that can disappear tomorrow. And they don't make you the person that you are. It's your integrity, it's your hard work ethics, it's where you're from, all those things that make you who you are.
100%.
The rest is just for fun and games.
And always be nice. And just teaching them to be good people is like, you know, and I get the biggest compliment when people say, "Oh, you know, your kids are so well mannered, they're this and that."
Yeah.
But at home, that's
different.
That comes from there. But also, I said at the end of the day, teach them how to hustle.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Teach them to be nice to everyone, regardless who they are. You know, and that's it. And if you have those skills in life and treat everyone nicely, treat everyone the same, you go far in life.
100%, man. It's your karma, it's common courtesy. And my dad said to me, "You never know who you need on your way down. Just be nice to everyone. You got nothing to lose."
Yeah, because be nice to the people on the way up, because you're going to need them.
Because you never know, right? Just be nice. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice.
You're going to see them when you come down.
Exactly, and it doesn't cost you anything to be nice. So tell me, I know you probably get this stuff all the time, but what's your favourite food? I know you said before you change all the time. I know, but they have to have something, right? So for me, right?
My go-to dish.
Yeah, so for me,
my last supper. You want to know my last supper?
Yeah.
What my last supper would be? Close to being a spaghettini aglio olio. I make a pretty mean one. I haven't made it for you yet.
No, I don't think you have.
Like every time I ask you to come over, you never come over.
I don't know about that. Well, there you go. So that's why? Does it take you somewhere?
Because it's such a simple dish. All it is pasta.
Yeah.
Packet dried durum wheat pasta, olive oil, garlic.
Yeah.
And chili. Garlic and chili are my 2 favourite things.
I love that too.
And also parsley.
Yeah.
And that's it. And salt.
Salt,
water, salt, pepper, salt.
I love that guy.
And it's such a simple thing you can make, and you can do it anytime, but it's all that technique. So I'm actually going to teach this pasta to about 20 coaches like Alicia Malik, Casey Delacqua in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to do a cooking class with them.
Wow.
And I'm showing them basic technique. So I'm like, they're going to see a different way of, like, say, coaching or mentoring or whatever coaches now, go from play to coach. So I'm doing a high performance cooking class for them. But I'm giving them basic ingredients. I'm going to show them how to cook it once.
Yeah.
And they can show, then they're left to their own devices. Yeah. And it's all about simple ingredients, but it's about the same technique. So if you give a chef, you give 2 chefs an egg.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same. They'll cook it completely different.
Yeah.
So
I like that. So that's your thing. So for me, if I'm ever having a bad day, I go to Fo's, in the corner of Lonsdale and Russell Street. You walk in, there's no speaking.
You like that place?
Yeah, I love it. You just go how many people? 1, 2, whatever. You sit down.
I've never been there.
Yeah, lemongrass chicken, $9. I'll put the apron on PM because I don't want to spray it on myself.
Yeah,
and
I sit there,
and I sit there and eat it. And you know, I enjoy that more than anything in the world. You know, because that's the place that I'll go.
Yeah, so now,
basic.
I do that in Victoria, so I go to a place called I Love Pho.
Yeah.
Pho. So I get a pho there, and I know that, and she knows I only have half noodles, so I don't eat it all. I'll even eat a quarter of it, but she knows I just go there, just have some of the soup, have a bit of noodle, that's it, so later.
It's interesting, right? And so tell me, so you've had a lot of success, man. All right? I know you don't like to talk about that in what you've done, you know. What I love about you is you're real. Okay? I love that about you. No. Annoying, but annoying, but real. You get annoyed because I can't take a lot of jokes. I get upset sometimes. And then you come and go, you're right. But you know what I love about you, mate? Like, you're real, you know. You've done very well for yourself, but you still kept yourself grounded. And you're like one of the boys, you know. When someone meets you, you see what you get and you get what you see. And that's what I love about you, right? You haven't let all that stuff get to you, right? It's not like, oh, I have to be this personality because this is what's expected of me, because this is who I am, right? And a lot of people get consumed by that stuff, right? But you have stayed true to yourself, right? And that's what I love about you.
Exactly, and you got to be happy when you wake up in the my wife. That's a lot has to do with my wife, because she's like, you got to be happy with the person you see them in the mirror, and she goes to me, you've got no problem with self-esteem. Yeah. But it's you got to be who you are. I don't want to change because I've got to meet someone and be, you know. Yeah. You might tone down your language or something like that.
Yeah, of course. There's common courtesy,
but it's just like you got to be comfortable with who you are. And if you start trying to be someone you're not, how do you keep up with it? It's too much hard work. Just be who you are.
It's so true.
And you see what you get, because that feels natural to me.
Yeah, but I love that about you. And the reason why I bring that up is that, like, you know, the whole point of this show is to, you know, I want to get beautiful people that I know, like friends, you know, people that some people that I just met for the first time. But I want to show to the young entrepreneurs, like the young people in the workforce, like who you were when you were 16, 17, who I was when I was 21, 22. And, you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. What I want to get across is that you just got to be yourself. You just got to be yourself, because people will judge you, people will have an opinion of you, no matter what, right? But always be yourself, own who you are, find something that, you know, and sometimes, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was 29. I felt like a loser, right? I'm like, I don't know what am I doing with my life.
There's 95% of the people like that.
There you go, because, you know, I remember we had a careers teacher at school, like, they're trying to tell you, oh, what job should you do, this and that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they had no idea, right? They're trying to match you up, oh, what are you going to do when you finish your high school or university? It was all nonsense, right? They had no idea what they were doing, right? But it's about finding your passion,
right? Which I did. It's almost like I had a vision. I knew. I was about, I think I was in grade 4.
Are you serious?
So I would have been about 9 years old. And I just knew. I was like, one day I was like, I really like cooking.
So you knew? Because my daughter says that. Laura says that all the time. She's like, Dad, I want to be a chef. And I just look at her, I'm like, yeah, I know you love food, you know.
No, but I knew I want to be a chef. But then I didn't realise until I started my apprenticeship how hard it was and the hours. I was like, I knew I was doing it, but I was like, I'm like, really? I've got to work weekends again, and I've got to do 5 nights a week, and I'm not going to see my mates, I'm not going to see my friends, I'm not going to see my family. I'm going to be, I work all these things, and, and that was hard. Yeah, back then.
So there's moments that was there moments that you thought, I'm going to quit, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, I still loved it, and I thought, you know what, but that's all I could, that was my passion. Yeah. I was like, I just got to stick at it, and I want to immerse myself in it, and do it.
But it wasn't easy, Adam.
No, it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
No,
exactly.
And I say, it's like, you know, hospitality is a young person's game. you know, I'm 40, turning 43 this year. And if you don't, you know, that's why you don't see many chefs over 40 or over 50 in the kitchen because it's physically demanding. You know, now all the people that work at Coda, the team that works at Coda Tonka, they're all like in their 20s.
Yeah.
And you feel, you know when you're kind of old in this in the industry, when you're employing people that are half your age, and you're old enough to be their parent. You know, and it's funny, you go, they come to work hungover or this and that, and been out, and you go to them and go, mate, listen, I've been there, done that. Just, if you want to go out and you've got to work the next day, just make sure you can come and perform 100%. If you don't, if you can't, then don't. I suggest don't go out and have a bender the night before you have to go to work.
Spot on.
You know, and they go, oh, well, what do you mean? So don't trust me.
Common sense, mate. I've been there, done that.
You know, and hospitality is a personal thing. That's why they call it hospitality. You know, but I can't be there every night. I can't be in two places at once with Coda Tonka. But it's having that same vision, the same feeling. Like you said, like, you know, no matter who's working at Coda Tonka, you know, or Coco's or Rockpool or Flower Drum, any other restaurants you want to mention that you go to all the time?
Coco once a week. I love that place. They can't get rid of me.
Is to have that same feeling, you know. But obviously, it's amplified if, say, you know, I'm there or whatever.
100%, and that's what it's about.
But the food, as you know, one thing I say, and you know, we probably can end this. And the hardest thing about hospitality is consistency. And one thing that I take that from Gordon Ramsay, because Gordon Ramsay is one of my chefs that I look up. Like I take my hat off to. What he's achieved is unbelievable, phenomenal. But he said consistency is the hardest thing in a restaurant. And I just did this thing again. You've got so many variables. Every single dish and every single day, every single minute and hour you are cooking in a kitchen in a restaurant. You've got different people trying to cook the same, just like you're trying to get the same different people to make the same Ferrari. Day in, day out. But they don't have the same skills. The produce you're getting, things is different. It varies every day.
It's not a part that looks
the time frame you got to cook it in while you're doing other stuff. But you got to produce that exact same dish that tastes the same every single time. And then it's got to be served the same way. So there's a lot of variables, and people get so flippant, can be so dismissive. Of like, oh, that was a bad experience. I hate that restaurant. I didn't like my main course was shit. So you diss it straight away. You got to tell everyone else. So the whole ethos also behind tapas, or the way the Coda Tonka is that you go order 10 dishes. If you don't like 7 of them, max like even 7 of them, 25%. If you don't like 25%, you still go back. You just don't order those dishes again. Just like I know some of the dishes you haven't liked in the past. You know, you politely just send them back. But I know, cool, it's not order that. I know.
That's so true, but
that doesn't affect your experience. But when traditionally, I was talking this last night. Traditionally, when you have the entree main, you would judge that you've got three dishes. As you're getting judged on 3 dishes.
Spot on. Spot on.
And chefs are artists as well. So it's like doing a painting. And not everyone's got different tastes.
I never thought about it like that. You're 100% right.
You know, and we're trying to make money out of it. Looking at it, which is harder these days. You know, with wages and cost of goods. So
tell me, if you had young, 17, 18, 19-year-old kid wanting to do what you're doing now, inspires or looks up to you, what advice would you give them? I
say do it because you love it, because whatever you love, you're going to be good at. But be happy to wake up and go, I really want to do this. I want to go and work there. There's many options within hospitality, but you got to love what you do, and you got to put in the hard work. You know, because it doesn't come easy. And don't think you're going to be famous straight away, because it's all about fame. You can be famous with no money. That's how you monetize it. But now I'm at a stage in my career where I've won all the awards and all that. I want to monetize it. You got to monetize it. Because fame only takes you so far.
It's true.
You know?
Very well said.
I just spent some time with some comedians / actors. And they're starving artists.
Man.
You know, and there's only a few people that make it, that have made it.
Hollywood, all that.
That's not even that, it's even locally here. You know, the Dave Hugheses of the world and all that. You know? So you're going to love what you do regardless of what you do. And if you love it, you're going to, because people, cause I get it every day. Oh, you're so lucky. I love to be a chef. I go, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I have no idea what I've been through.
I said, come and spend a day in the kitchen.
And just see if you want to do it.
And they'll go, you know? So there's many different ways to do it. But it has been a very rich and rewarding Korea, because I've travelled the world. I've cooked all over the world. I never thought I would
What's
ever.
your favourite location around the world? Like you've travelled a lot of places. What was your favourite location?
I've reconnected with Italy the last few years. I've been going there every year now.
What's your favourite part? Where in Italy? Like,
Well, I'm going to go to Puglia this year. The plan is.
Okay.
I love Rome.
You love Rome? I went to Rome for the first
You know,
time. Actually,
I love Capri, you know, or Capri, you know. But there's, you know, but I love Singapore. I go there every year to cook in Singapore.
Too.
You know, I think the food's amazing, great. You know, it's expensive for the alcohol, but it's good for the kids, good clean. But you know, because you know, one place I've never been, Bali.
I've never been either. Never been.
We should go together.
We should go together. You know, back to Sil together. I've never been. I've been invited many times, but I've never been.
So look, and as I said, what's my favourite? Like it's like my favourite food. I love immerse, and all I want to do when I travel is I just want to eat. My wife always just goes, because my wife's not a massive foodie per se. She goes, we have breakfast, and I'm already thinking what I'm having for dinner. Not even lunch. I already thought about lunch. I'm having dinner. I just want to eat again. I just want to eat again. I just want to eat again.
It's true, because that's what you love and that's what you're passionate about. You know.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's coming up for you? What are the plans? Is there anything coming up for you that you can talk about? Like, where is Adam going? You know, where's Adam D'Sylva going to? Like,
world domination.
You know, where are you going, man? Like, you know, is there anything new that you're working on that you can
explore? I want to explore my Italian side. So I think I've got an Italian restaurant in me.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Okay.
It's still on the drawing board.
But you got the vision.
I've got the vision. And I think that's part I want to do. It's my comfort food. It's my other heritage. I love the food.
Yeah.
If it's another avenue that I haven't explored. I used to cook Italian. So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Maybe if something happens, I'll tell you. We'll be back.
Finally, I want to ask you. What do you
Stop
do
with the questions!
No, because I want to get to know you, man. Like, you know, because we never sit down and talk properly, right? So this is my opportunity to actually be serious with you. So, what do you do for fun? How do you switch off?
Oh, golf. I'm golf. I'm a massive
You
golfer.
are too.
I'm a massive golf nut.
You are too. Are you good at it?
That's why we haven't had a proper conversation, because I've never played golf.
So you're good at it? Are you good at it?
I'm alright. I play off 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Good gambling handicap.
Yeah. So that's how you switch off.
Yeah, and there's a time where I
How often do you play?
I try once a week.
So once a week you play golf?
Yeah. With mates, and the best thing about it, golf is that it's such a thing you can do for business, you can do for pleasure. The amount of people you meet and do deals or just even connect with people, and travel the world and play golf. Been fortunate enough, but it's also one thing now with quite a few groups of mates. It's 4 hours a week or 6 hours in general. Depends how long you take. Or depends how long you tell your wife you're playing golf for. Is that you can? That's 6 hours a week. You would purposely spend together. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd find it very hard to catch up.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Hey man, it's been really great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
No, seriously, I really appreciate you taking the time. You're a great friend. I love you. Sometimes I get annoyed by you, but I still love you. But you know, I love Tonka. I love Coda, and I'm not giving you a shout and stuff. It's because that's what I love, and I love what you guys have done. It's phenomenal. I can't wait to hear more about what you're gonna do. I can't wait for the future, and I can't wait to see what our kids do. Right? If they
go to school together.
Yeah, they do go to school together. Yeah. So thank you so much for taking your time to come today, and thank you for being genuine and real and sharing your experience. Because a lot of the people that are out there want to start their own experience. They get to see that through us, right? And they get to see how we've done it, and hopefully we'll make a difference. So tune in, and thank you for today's podcast. God bless.